So now we get to verse 2 for real. I know your works, your labor, your patience, and that you cannot bear those who are evil, and you have tested those who say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars. Just like I was saying earlier, how first he affirmation, he tells them the good news. So he says, I know you're good. I know you're strong. Jesus telling them, see, all the churches work even today. So this is something, so he commends them for their solid doctrine. He's given them a good news. He's given them a good job, a pat on the back. Excellent work for standing strong. Excellent work for keeping a solid doctrine. See, Apostle Paul had warned the Ephesian church to stay strong and be careful even from within for false teachers. You see, he was always writing in letters and warning them to the Ephesians, if you read it in the books. And it says, be careful for false teachers. The false teachers are going to come because it's such a popularity now. Remember, this is becoming this new popular religion. So everybody wants to be a preacher. Everybody wants to be a teacher. Everybody wants to be a pastor. Everybody wants to start something. So everybody, even if they don't believe, they're acting like they are believers. Just like today we have these fake evangelistic things on TV. The fake ones, the ones that are just after your money. It's business for them. It's not really for the Lord. But then we have the real ones. So we have to have that discernment. We have to know. We have to be the judges of what's real and what's not. And here, the Lord is commending them, said, good job, bravo, that you kept your solid doctrine, you tested those fake ones, and you threw them out. The fake teachers, you threw them out. He said, no, you're fake. You're no good. You're not real. You got to go. You got to go. You're not real. You're not standing in. So, you see, here also Jesus telling them, Jesus says, I see. He says, I see. You know what he's saying by I see? Meaning that Jesus sees all the time. He sees us until today, everywhere. There's no place we can hide. Especially in church, he watches the church. This is his home. This is his baby. So Jesus watches the church very carefully. He watches it. He wants to make sure that, everything is working according the way it's supposed to be. He is saying that, wait a minute. Be careful. I'm giving you the good. So far, he's given him the good news. So far, he's telling him, okay, job well done. Bravo, you done. So they were very careful, church, and uncovering the false teachers. Now, let's go to verse 4. Nevertheless, verse 3. And you have persevered and have patience and have labored for my name's sake, and have not become weary. So again, he's continuing on the good news. He's continuing on giving him the good praises, the praise report. So far it's praising. He's saying, I know you stayed firm because of my name. I know it's very tough where you are. Imagine they were like in Las Vegas, okay? That type of a city, in today's terms. Very much worldly city. A lot of stuff going on. We have all these casinos. We have, just all the showgirls and everything else, and naked women walking around, going to all the pool parties to be topless is normal. But the thing is, in midst of all that, we have this church. In midst of all that, we have all these churches. In midst of all that, we have these believers. We have us. In midst of all this, we have a strong Christian-based community that's fighting to stay true to the Word. Amen? So now, the same thing with the Ephesians are in this kind of a city when their worship is idolatry, is having prostitutes in the temple. It's a normal thing. It's like that's what you're supposed to do. Trying to change those people to believing in the Lord and changing their ways of their life. So the Lord is telling them, you've done a good job. I'm very proud of you that you stayed firm because of my name. But if you go to verse 4, nevertheless, now comes the bad news. Nevertheless, he says, I have this thing against you, that you have left your first love. Here we go. The good part starts. The movie just started, by the way. The show just started. Wake up, everybody. Hello. Come on. The only one talking here. So, here, the Lord He says, nevertheless, I have something against you. You left your first love. This church was for about 40 years old now. The church in Ephesus, when the Lord is speaking to John, this church is built, it's been around for 40 years. So good solid 40 years, 4 decades. And it had a great reputation for love to one another. But they no longer are in that behavior. See, this church was built on the foundation of loving one another. It was built on the foundation of caring and reaching out and being for anybody who needed them. The church was so full and vibrant. But now 4 decades have passed. And they moved away from it. You see, we received the agape love, as we said last week. Agape love, God's love. Godly love, the selfless love. We receive the agape love from God, and so we pass it around. You see, we are here receiving the Lord's love, receiving the Lord's message, so we can pass it around to others. That's what we do at church when we pass the good news to one another. You see, that's passing the Lord's love to one another. And then we're supposed to continue that on, the ripple effect. We're supposed to pass on the love from the Lord through us and out. See, we are a conduit, a vessel that the Lord fills us, and we get overfilled, we pass it to others. We're just a conduit. We're just passed through. The Lord gives us the love, we pass it up. We don't have nothing. The Lord gives us that. He gives us the agape love. We take the agape love and we pass it up. We pass it through. We pass it through us to others. We pass it through among each other, and so on and so forth. We don't do it. So here, the Lord is saying that you have lost that. They were very busy church. They were very by the book. But they've forgotten the basics. See, here the Lord is trying to tell them, you forgot your basics. You are following so much of tradition, doctrine, status, how to conduct the church, how to do this. You are doing everything right, except the love is not there. He says Christianity is not a religion. It's a relationship with God. The Lord is trying to tell us here, and He's telling them, Christianity is not a religion. Don't treat it like a religion. Stop putting man-made laws into it. Don't make things that you have to do. It's a relationship with the Lord. That's what it is. This is the basis of our operation, brothers and sisters here. Here, this church that we're standing here, the church's operation, our basis of operation is relationship with the Lord.